Welcome to another episode of The Offside. And
and the Overthrows podcast. With the IPL auction almost upon us, this video we're going to talk about the transfer kitty, the slots, the retentions, and the options that every team could go for in the auction and pick potential 11s. Let's go. Hey Arvind, how's it going, man?
Shri, it's been good. It's been a nice, relaxing weekend.
Yeah,
Team,
Salah's back, assisted a goal, Liverpool won. Hey,
for
everything
sure.
is glory again.
That does put a smile on my face. I personally feel, I hope, that saga by all means is ended. But I
Yeah.
also feel somewhere deep down, maybe not. Let's see. It's at least the fire has been put off or extinguished for now. But I'm sure there's still some damage done, and we'll see how
Hmm,
things work out from here.
I mean, I know this video is about something completely different, but yeah, I mean it's a pleasant turn of events from the last video that we shot. So
No,
and that
for
was
sure,
pretty
for
quick.
sure.
So that way it's
Exactly.
nice, and that gives us time to talk about
Talk
the
about
next big
cricket,
event. Yeah, the next
IPL.
IPL, the next big event that's coming in, the
Hmm.
mini auction, which is not so mini given the amount of money that's at stake.
Oh, for sure. Like,
Yeah,
if we roll back years, many teams probably had as much of a purse for the
the
main
major
auction as
auction.
well.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
but yeah, it's there's been some interesting sort of releases, trades, and
Yeah,
interesting I would say nominations for the
India's
auction itself.
India won today. That was a good
They won today,
good
and it
win.
was pretty convincing. Our bowling,
Said
sort
it.
of in absence of Bumrah, stood up, and it was very, very pleasant to see. Not to take anything away from the bowling lineup, I also felt that South Africa somehow
Gave it a
played like an unsettled, yeah, sort of, some of the shots were too rushed. So it's part on them as well. But I think we the start, especially, Harshit Rana gave was fiery and fast. So got to give it to that lad, yeah.
Man, that guy has turned it around really well, which is really nice to see. That given all of the criticism, he has actually kind of like justified his selection in the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will
So
be.
okay. Yeah. So in terms of the IPL thingy, we'll start with maybe the top two.
Think nowhere else to start in terms
Yeah.
of the biggest talking points and biggest words going into the auction.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
feel
let's set a format that we would like to follow along this. This is probably the first time where we are following a format. Would you like to line that out?
yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's good to sort of stay disciplined or stick to a format so that we don't leave any gaps in that. I think we'll start from what's just around what's happening around the franchisee overall. If there's much to talk about, and then we'll talk about releases. That's sort of where it all began, and then of course subsequently what purse they have going into the auction, and based on their current squad, what's their probable 11 or probable 12 look like. That will also help us identify like the gaps and the sort of the players they would need to sort of fill into those
Yeah.
fill into those positions.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can do that. And the first team, we'll start with KKR, biggest purse.
KK, yeah.
Did KKR have that big a purse when they went into the main auction? Maybe they had 10 crores more. I think
They,
that
I
is
think,
one of the
didn't they all have 120 crores going into the
no
main
one
auction last
twenty
time around?
crores, but
Yes.
KKR retained all six, right? So they had that.
Oh, right. Oh no, I'm honestly not
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, you bring up a good question. I definitely I don't
which
remember the
tells you like
specifics of it.
how no honestly, which tells you how badly they screwed up the main auction. It tells you their position in the league as well last year.
And or the sort of the bets they placed and how they played it didn't really come good. Like honestly, I think what finalist from last year, the year before, they won the
Champions,
cup under
champions.
Shreyas. So I would
Yeah,
say, yeah, the probably the bets they took and or decided to take and didn't really come up as good. Of course, which
yeah,
also exposed a lot of call it gaps or opportunities
yeah.
in their team. So
Yeah, I mean the biggest release talk obviously has to be a certain Andre Russell, their new power coach.
Power coach. It was strategic. It sort of reminded me of how Kiran Pollard and how Mumbai sort of retained
Yeah,
Kiran Pollard. Like uh, for people who know, he still continues to play around franchisee cricket around the world. Like last
everywhere
year or
else.
this year, I went to watch one of the MLC games. He turned up
Oh,
and he was playing MLC.
yeah, actually.
and he was bowling as well, which and for some, I mean, not that he's not known for his bowling, he's primarily like a finisher or like a middle order batter. But point being, yeah, Mumbai sort of retained him, so I think KKR are sort of trying to do something similar. I
Have done,
think,
have done
yeah,
that.
have done something similar, and I think Dredas is sort of one of their franchise players who represents other Knight Rider franchises around the globe.
Clubs.
So and also all that said and done, I think it's also a sort of power move in the sense that they've safeguarded themselves in terms of him going up or ending up with someone else and
Yeah.
turning up against them, which could prove pretty pretty damaging if he clicks.
No,
So
honestly, because being Dreras being available in the market, a lot of teams would have really wanted to go for him. So the
yes,
fact that they've taken him out has been a big deal. And I
yep.
don't think they could have known Maxwell is gonna not put his name in the auction. So that would have
I
put
don't
even more,
think so. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yep, yep,
pressure
yep.
on him. But that's a good move. But other than that, obviously the biggest talking
Venki
point.
Iyer was, I wouldn't say surprising or maybe surprising in the sense he was bought for 23 crores, which is a huge chunk. And to let someone go just after a season, I would say until the season prior to the last one, he was in good nick. He probably took them to the finals and also like played a winning knock in the final. So it was just him going through a bad patch. And maybe they would have thought that he's not as worth as like 23 crores. So one of the things that
No, I mean
they had to
honestly,
do or
that
could
guy
do.
had some. That guy had some crazy record of three fifties in four playoff games or 450s in four playoff games or something. So he was
Yep.
actually known to turn up in the big games. But yeah, I mean, 23 crores was never gonna sit well, especially when they
Right.
needed a good amount of deep uh, rebuilding to be done on the squad, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So they've
And few of
released a lot of
the
their
low, yeah, I would say just to add to that, I would say few of their low key releases also includes like QDK, which
basically all the
QDK,
wicket keepers.
Rahmanullah Gurbaz exactly, and then
Even
they even
Navneet Sasodia. Yeah,
Navneet
I mean,
Sisodia, they released Spencer and Chetan in the bowling department. So,
and
and
Andrik
Mo
Nokia.
Ali retired, and Nokia Mo Ali retired. So, um, I would say they pretty much sort of emptied their whole foreign lot.
Foreign
Out of
cabinet.
eight, they let go of six, so they also have a lot more to go and buy, and they also have slots open overall as such in the team because all the Indian team or Indian uncapped players they could go after.
The funniest thing is the two foreigners they retained. One is Narayan, of course. The other one is Rahman Powell, who barely played for them. So I mean, that was a very, very, I would say,
Yeah.
opportunistic retention in the sense
Oh,
that
yes. And I wonder if somehow he's being groomed into or being looked at as a eventual Reyes replacement. I know he's like a finisher for
he's
sure. I don't know
yeah.
if he bowls as much or as well, but he's probably honestly, in my opinion, Ramandeep Singh is likely a more Reyes replacement. You know what I'm saying in terms of role and profile. He's probably fits into the mold of a Reyes
Yeah.
replacement. So if he can stand up, perform better this year, he would at least that void should not be felt as much.
I mean, 100%. Like there are a lot of holes. The first thing I wanted to like bring up when we start the discussion is they completely flushed out pretty much their backroom staff. They have a
Oh
new
yes,
coach in
they have
Abhishek Nair. Yeah,
DJ Bravo. They have Abhishek Nair as their coach. Yes, they
yeah,
have DJ Bravo as mentor,
yeah.
and I think
Saudi
Watson
is
Shane
their bowling
Watson.
coach.
South is their bowling coach. Shane Watson joins as an assistant coach. So
Assistant
there
coach.
is
Yeah,
definitely a lot of press news
sure.
around KKR and sort of definitely look a remodeled, relooked site, and
Yeah, I
hopefully
mean,
they have an auction to remember, so that should sort of set them up.
no, absolutely. Now, I mean, I think one thing we've tried to do is, given the squad they have, every team has, we've tried to make an 11 and then see where the holes are and what we can fill. So,
Mhm.
uh, like, let me read out mine first, and that might be like easier for us, and then we can maybe discuss on what is happening. Or do you want to go first? I'll let you go. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, sure, I can take a bet. I don't know. There are questions around Ajinkya Rahane as a captain, but also
Hmm.
looking at the squad, I think he's their best bet right now. So I don't think them changing anything right away right now this season.
Hmm.
So in my opinion, he of course he remains as captain, and he should also start opening the innings. I think
I
Rahane
would.
overall is the most effective. when he bats up top the order. I know a couple of games last year he came, one down, two down, and I don't think that sort of unsettled the balance of the team. So I would have Rahane open. Um, I am not convinced about Sunil Narayan opening, but looks like that's what they would do or go with based
Yeah.
on their current options. With their current options,
Yeah.
so depending on if they go for a, for an opener or opener slash keeper bat, whoever comes in can come and open as well. But because I've been following or trying to follow the franchise cricket through across
Around the world. Yeah.
around the world. I haven't seen anyone let Sunil Narayan open. So he's sort of a exclusive opener when it comes to KKR. There's probably going to be some rustiness there, but I'd keep him there. I want to try Krish Raghuvanshi one down. He's shown
Mhm.
great promise to come down at 4 or 5 or even lower. Some of the innings, some of the times he did come as low. I think they are losing out on his potential as well. He's definitely
Mhm.
not a finisher yet or not a finished
100.
product yet. So I would promote him up the order. And arguably there have been talks that he's been keeping in domestic circuits as well. So
Yep.
maybe they could see him as a
Keeper.
as if not the first choice, maybe another option or backup for their keeper option as well. Four slash middle order is likely what they would need, in my opinion, in terms of whom they might go out and sort of get. Right now, they have Manish Pandey as a squad player. I really don't see him, like actually fitting into that spot. Followed by that, in terms of their middle order or lower middle order and finishing option, they have like Rinku, Ram and Paul, Ramandeep, I think, and Harshit, especially given how well he's been batting in the
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
chipping in with that quick fire 10-15 runs. That's going to be handy. So, and
Right.
then followed by, Naman or Vaibhav Aurora and, Varun Chakravarti. That would be their,
11.
sort
But
of
you need to
eleven
name
or
12.
12. I don't think they have as many players overall. You know what I'm saying? I think they're left with Manish Pandey, Anukul Roy, or Umran Malik. It depends to be seen who and when and how can come in. Having said that, I think for KKR, the glaring positions that are either vacant or need replacement are like, an opener slash keeper bat, or at least a keeper bat, depending on where, the person can fit
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
They could do with another all-rounder for sure with, missing out on Reyes. Not that
I
Reyes
think they
bowled a
would.
lot of overs. Yeah, not that
Yeah.
Reyes bowled a lot of overs last year, but they definitely need someone there. They also need a dead bowler or like a bowler, a bowling option to sort of finish the game. So
Yeah.
they tried Spencer Johnson and Andrik Nokia last year. And years
Well,
prior, I
Andre
think they had
Nokia
locked.
barely played. Like he was injured all year.
Exactly. So, they definitely need to invest, in these three spots as their
Yeah.
first choice sort of options.
No, I mean, honestly, I had pretty much the exact same team as yours.
Hmm.
The only thing is, I feel like Umran Malik is somebody that they really rate. For people
Right.
who don't know, I'm a K, so I've been following them forever. Basically, I feel like they rate Umran Malik because he was injured last year. They still
Right.
retained him. They picked him, and he's actually not doing as badly in the SMAT. So I
Hmm.
believe they would actually give him that opportunity. It would either be him or picking an overseas fast bowler. I would think
Right.
Umran Malik is a good middle overs bowler. I would expect. So, but the
Right.
only problem is injuries, right? For him, you don't know how long
Yep.
can he stay fit and how consistent will his form be, because
Yep.
you'll have Harshit Rana, Vaibhav Arora, Varun Chakravarti, and Umran Malik as pretty much your bowlers. Like that would
Hmm.
make it. So in there, I would say Vaibhav Arora is also like so so, and you have Umran Malik who's so so. So
Yep.
you definitely want one overseas bowler is what I think they'll go. Like in terms
Yep.
of options, it's again you have Nokia, you have Matt Henry, you have a Matisha Patirana because he fills
You
in
have.
that
Yep.
death bowling kind of option and all.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yep.
so I mean
His
that
up
is
and
there,
coming
and then
name
you
in Devon Jacobs as well. Is this New Zealand bowler, and
he's
apparently
a
he's
he's
number
a
two in T20 ratings
oh,
right now.
really.
So I'm sure that would, yeah. This so I was watching the game. I mean today's game. Varun Chakravarti is first, and then second is Jacob Duffy. So I'm sure he's going to get some
Oh,
I think
are you
people are going
saying
to go hard
Devon
for him.
Jacob or Jacob
No, no,
Duffy?
no, no, not Javon
Jacob
Jacob.
Duffy.
This is Jacob Duffy. This is New
Okay.
Zealand fast bowler.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Even that guy, right? O'Rourke. O'Rourke is still an option who's
Oh,
in
Will
the
O'Rourke.
market.
Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I feel like there are a lot of overseas players, and like let's first address the elephant in the room. They have 64 odd crores. Everybody
They're
thinks
the
they're gonna
they
go
have the
for.
first right of refusal for any and every player in the
No, honestly,
going into the
I will
auction.
say no. Honestly, it's a little iffy if they go for Cam Green. Cam Green, I don't think goes for any less than 20-25 crores. If they spend
Oh
25
no, for
crores on
sure.
Cam Green, that basically brings them on a level footing with CSK,
Par
and
with
then basically whatever,
yes,
yeah,
correct.
and then whatever they want, CSK can basically outbid them and try to hike the prices up
Yep.
and mess their thing. So it's gonna be a
Do you
game
know
of
the
whether,
latest rule?
yeah,
Sorry, I didn't try to break the fourth. The latest rule says that basically any player you buy in the auction cannot be more than the highest retained player in the squad, which for KKR is like 18 crores. So assuming or should they buy him, or, get him or win him in the auction, his salary would still be capped at 18 crores. Anything
sure,
and everything
but then,
over, let's say,
yeah, go on,
I was
go on.
going to say that anything that's over will go into players' welfare fund apparently, which the point I'm trying to make is, which is also a reason why other teams will try to sort of pseudo bid for him just in a week to increase the price and push him over the 18 crore mark, so that KKR end up spending a lot more than they can actually go in
No,
for.
I mean honestly, the only team that can like realistically do that to a good
Have
extent is
I know?
CSK.
Yes,
Like that's obvious. So
yes.
and honestly, like we'll get to CSK then. They have a legitimate reason for Green. So it is about
Hmm.
KKR's point where they either go in big, the whole world knows they want Green, they go in big and try to
Yep,
do it. It could either be a great choice or it could go the Venkatesh Iyer route where last year they packed up 23 crores on him and that basically messed up their other part of their squad in terms of their strategic
right.
planning. So they could, I mean, that's the one thing. If they don't get Green, as you say, they have the right to refusal for every player and they can pretty much get
Yep,
anybody else in the auction. If they get Green, then their squad building kind of hinges on what kind or what order the players come in and what happens.
yep.
I would think in terms of an opening slot, there are way too many like opening keepers that are available. You have Jamie Smith. I don't know if Ben
Like
Duckett
Johnny
keeps, but Ben
Bairstow.
Duckett, Johnny Besto,
Yeah,
Shy
I don't think
Hope.
he keeps, but you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Shai
You
Hope
have Shy
is
Hope.
another solid,
Correct.
sort of
Yeah,
option.
and then Steve Smith, who doesn't keep but captaincy material if they don't want to make Rahane the captain. But one,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, like very left field thought is Prithvi Shaw. Abhishek Nair is from Mumbai. He has
Could be.
at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
point last winter that he would like to work with Prithvi Shaw. Maybe get him to a point where he realizes his potential talent again. Abhishek
For
Nair
sure.
is the
Yep.
coach. Prithvi Shaw has actually, he's not back to his best, but he is definitely putting in the hard
He's
yards
been
in
doing
smack and has
decent. Yeah, it's
fine.
in Smite. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And honestly, KKR want an explosive opener, and Prithvi Shaw's remit is exactly that. So
Can do that. Yep.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if they would want him. So that is definitely a question
Mm-hmm.
depending on where he comes. That is an out left field thought. And of course, like in terms of all rounders, you have a holder, you have Venkatesh Iyer again. Whether they would go for him again, I think they
Yep.
would, but it's open. You have Liam Livingston, who suddenly becomes
Living
a big
Livingston.
commodity because he's playing for ADKR, Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, plus Glenn Maxwell isn't available. So you don't know
Yep.
if.
And I think he just scored like 100 or so in the ILT20. So I mean,
See,
you
he
can we
scored
can always
180
argue for
and
what
then
that.
no, he scored 180 and then he's flopped in every other game. So that's typical Liam
But
Livingston.
that's what
But
that's the what do you call that's the nature of the beast in Liam Livingston, right? That's what you get with him. And maybe if they do go for him, and get him at a reasonable price, he can also probably fit in at number four, in my opinion. And maybe, I think he tends to bat lower down the order more, like five or six. Maybe if you give him that slot, number four slot, maybe that might give him a little bit more time to come and settle and probably,
The
go be
funniest thing
more
is,
consistent.
no, the funniest thing is they have a Robman Powell, and now if they get Livingston, they'll have two players who are pretty much susceptible to spin whenever. So that's like going to be something that they will have to really work on. But I mean,
Yep.
of course, like enough said and done. I think they have a lot of holes to plug. I'll say at least four holes to plug in the team, and
Yep.
the options. I won't say it's immense, but there are still some pretty good options available. Do you have one blockbuster pick that will be like the game changer for them, or they'll go for?
For KKR, I think, especially for KKR, it's sort of easy because of the purse they have. It's sort of also no brainer that they go for Green. There is still questions about how much Green can bowl overall. But
Yeah, yeah,
he's I think Green now is just starting to hit his prime. If they're able to get him now and eventually he clicks and they're able to retain him, he'll be a coup. And what I mean is, and overall, the dynamics of the team is also playing in the direction in like Dreras retiring, opens you that
yeah,
bowling batting all-rounder spot. So, and Green fits into that sort of hole like a glove. Again, as I said, it's questionable how much he can bowl this season. But then you also just don't plan for one season, right? He could be your
yeah.
long term planning kind of a move as well. And now that you have as much purse, it he's in my opinion, if I can safely say so, he's half a KKR player already, even before going into the auction, surely because of the fact that they have as much money, and they also
Yeah,
need that kind of a player. So I think hands down, it would be Green for them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I want to say somebody else, but I know it's going to be Green. So I think their auction is going to be defined by whether they get Green or they don't get Green. That's
There are
basically
also
what's
some
going to define.
dynamics yes, and there's also some dynamics around how and when Green comes in. Apparently they
Yeah,
go by like batter, keeper, all-rounder, bowler kind of a sequence. So a lot of how much Green eventually gets sold for is also contingent upon when his sort of bail comes out. And apparently,
he
not
registered
apparently,
himself as a.
I was going to bring that up. So, point being, he may not be able to ball as much this time around. Uh, Plus, likely he's also going to come into the auction sooner than later. So that's, I mean, one thing for sure, he's going to bang, a big buck. This is
A
this
lot.
auction.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now after KKR, we'll go to CSK. I mean, about time with the
Mhm.
money that they have.
The
Yeah.
second,
So
yeah, exactly. The
yeah.
the second team with the second biggest purse.
I mean, I think for CSK, a big amount of work that they've done is already in the auction, where they have traded away a Ravindra Jadeja and a Sam Curran for Sanju Samson.
Y- You know,
Did you
yeah, you
see the
know
Sanju
what?
Samson reveal video?
Oh my goodness, that was superstar-esque. Yeah, no, I did see that. It's pretty dramatic. Um, Honestly, I know, and you were absolutely right. You did say that half or most of their work was done like pre auctions with the trades they did.
Yeah.
If you ask me, honestly, in my opinion, they started their preseason work the last half of this year's IPL. And what I mean by that
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
they knew they're not going anywhere. They were hit by injuries. Rutu had to, or whatever, had to sort of,
yeah.
withdraw from
Tournament.
the championship tournament. And then subsequently, they brought in Matre. Matre clicked. More than
Yeah.
Matre, their signing of Devon Bravis as a
All-
replacement. And then subsequently, he also went on to, they signed him after the season. I think is likely, in my opinion, the sort of cheapest, relatively. I think he still signed for a couple of crores, so that's not cheap by any means. Point being, relative to the big money and all the other teams or other players are going for, he's going to be the name or the player to watch out. The kind of, I don't know, monstrous form he can get into if he gets going. man,
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult to stop him if he gets going. So for me, or in my opinion, they started to do a lot of their I don't know, call it rework, remodeling the team,
Yeah.
starting first half of last season itself. So, and of course, Sanju coming in is also poetic in the sense that, agree it or not, he's definitely the long term successor in terms of Dhoni eventually retiring, and
Tony.
so that
Yeah.
that sort of plays out on that front. And also they get an opener, which I think for long they've been searching
Yeah.
for one. Gaikwad apparently wants to bat down the order, and it seems like,
Number
especially
three.
what he
Yeah.
did in the ODIs, seems that number 3 or 4, more likely 3, is likely a good spot for him. So, which then means they need an opener, and Sanju just walks in. So, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's I think
definitely a
I
big
mean
buck.
that I mean, pretty much hitting the nail in the head. They need an opener. They need a long-term replacement for Dhoni, eventually as a keeper, as
Mhm.
a leader in the team. And they're obviously like, see, no matter what you say, he's a Kerala boy. He's gonna get that fanfare in Chennai, and he's gonna bring that complete fan following as well, which is amazing for them
Yes.
in the sense that it is sort of a hand in a glove, right? That's pretty much what it
Yep.
was for Sanjay Samson. I mean, in all of this, we really need to like say our goodbye, like, pay the respects to Ravindra Jadeja. Like he has been a catalyst for them winning all of these titles. Even the last title that they won, 10-2, he was the one who made that difference.
Was his
So
heroics. Oh my
hundred
God.
percent.
Yeah. Mm.
No, I mean 100%. That guy has been a legend for the club, and I feel last year the way he was used or the way it almost felt like
Sparingly used.
Chennai's
I
wickets
think
has
he.
no, no. Chennai's wickets have changed because now apparently, other than the club literally just handling the conditions in the stadium, maybe
Mhm.
apparently IPL BCCI has some control
This
over it.
common.
So the
Yes,
Chennai
I've heard
wicket,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why his effectiveness at Chepauk has gone down, and Ruturaj seems to be a captain who kind of favors
I was
more
about to
fast bowling, like at least,
mention fast bowling
yeah.
or pace bowling options. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so given that and the rise of course, like a Dubey and a Brevis, pretty much
Yep.
Jadeja's place in the team as a batsman also keeps dropping and dropping and
And
dropping. So
yeah, and
it
I would
was
say
only,
Noor Ahmad has also like come into the fore
yeah,
very well, in the
yeah.
sense he even if they play one spinner, he's good enough, as the
He's the primary.
as a strong spin country. He's, yeah, primary spinner in the team. So yes.
I mean, to think they had three world class spinners, Ashwin, Jadeja, and Noor. Now they're left with just Noor.
Hmm.
They've let go of two of Indian. I mean, one
Yep.
retired, Ashwin retired, and Jadeja sort of like got traded away. But I felt
Yep.
overall both of those things kind of worked in CSK's favor in the sense that they opened up a purse, they got in a Sanju Samson, they like Ashwin, honestly, like as great a bowler he is and as much history he has in the IPL, he just looked off it
He was
last year in,
struggling
in
for sure.
IPL.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
yeah, and as we say about Venkatesh Iyer, it's not the fact that he wasn't worth retaining. Paying 10 crores for a player who is not in your scheme of things at this point like seemed like a very obvious decision that it worked for them the
Yep.
10 crores. The big surprise for people is the release of Pathirana because he was a player CSK brought
Yeah.
in, CSK groomed, CSK, he was their designated death bowler, they retained in the major
Yeah.
auction,
I, I
but it just things
I
have
wonder
flown.
if they had any thoughts of letting him go and buying him back for a cheaper price. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
as the dynamics of the auction plays out, I think he's going to be a sought after commodity as well. Given that KKR again like needs a dead bowler, they are literally going to go after anyone and everyone. So,
No,
so yes.
honestly, I think
Did you want to?
Pathirana still I don't think he still fetches the 11 crores that they retained him for. So that I think
Yep.
will still work out in their favor. But whether they end up still getting him back or somebody else gets him is a different conversation. But before we finish, Padirana hasn't been playing in the IL T20. He hasn't been picked by Sri Lanka. He's actually almost fallen off the radar. So maybe they knew something that we didn't in terms of his form, in terms of his action, in terms of his
Uh,
lethal ability that he's
coming
lost
back
with
from
age.
injury.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. But that said, yeah, we can quickly go through, and I can propose my like starting 11
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
best squad based on what they have. I think Matre and Sanju opens, and Gaikwad,
Hmm.
Rutraj Gaikwad is one down. Four. I don't know. Four, it depends on how they play. Four could be someone they go buy in the auction, or it could be Trevor Bravis. Bravis could come between 4 and 5 is my hunch, followed by Dube. And then depending on whether they get a number four or just play Bravis there, they might want to go for an all rounder. That's probably what they want to go get in the
Mhm.
auction, all rounder slash finisher. I Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, Dhoni, I don't really count Dhoni as a finisher no more. He's for a lack of a better word, he's just a showman at this point in time. Hasn't really helped chase much in the recent past. And then followed by that, you have your Noor Ahmad. I think Anshul Kamboj and Khalil Ahmad will be your Indian bowling lineup, and then they will use Nathan Ellis as their death over specialist. And he has sort of improved or come leaps and bound in the last year or so. So much so that they felt comfortable enough to retain him and let Matisha Patirana go, show
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
definitely is going to be their sort of primary death over specialist bowler. And then I think they
Um,
have a lot
I
of.
mean,
Mhm.
yeah. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go
Go
on.
for it, go for it. No, I was going to say they have a
No, I
bunch
mean,
of squad players in like Urvil Patel
yeah,
and uh, Gurjapneet
yeah.
Singh. So they have a I'd not say a strong core, but they have solid players whom they can go or rely on when it comes to their bench squad.
I mean,
They have
I
like
was gonna
Shreyas
say
Gopal
that
as well.
comment
Should they
about
want
Dhoni
to use
came
as
out of
an option?
nowhere. No, I was gonna
I
say
mean,
that
I'm
comment
I'm
about
just
Dhoni came out of nowhere, but that's a fair point. I agree with you. I agree with you
That's
in
a
the sense
fair
that
point.
his
I
effectiveness has
it sort of
significantly gone.
stings. Exactly.
Yeah,
It sort of stings to probably hear that. But honestly, that's also true, right? In the sense I agree overall, we all are like, hardcore Dhoni fans. But also it's somehow heart wrenching, gut wrenching to see him, play as bad or not being able to create that impact that we have seen him, create over the years. So at this point in time, I would say, like, please gracefully retire and, let the
yeah. No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. The only couple of changes I had in my team, like compared to you, was I actually, based on the current team, I had Urvil Patel slotting in at four because he basically,
um,
or as a finisher, because he basically plays that attacking, aggressive, just swing your bat at everything kind of role. So if they
mhm.
want somebody as a finisher there or in this current team, they can use him. But definitely, I feel like that is a number four is a position that they would want to recruit for. Actually, I won't say number four. I'll say one in the middle order, depending on who they get. If they get a Cam Green or a Venkatesh Iyer, that player probably goes in at number four. If they get a certain Liam Livingston or maybe some other finisher kind of an all rounder, that like maybe a Jason Holder, I don't know. Maybe that person goes in as a finisher. Like they won't have that player be a top order player because I don't think Green is a finisher. Green, he shouldn't be
No,
considered
for
in
sure,
that
no.
role.
Yeah.
They, I mean, they did try Daryl Mitchell before. He's still in the auction. I don't think they'll go for him again. But
No, I
honestly,
don't
I
think so
feel
either.
that the
Yeah.
I feel between Liam Green and Venkatesh, it's going to be a toss up between KKR and CSK as to who gets one.
CSK.
I mean, they're going to split these 1-1. And then the third player
Yeah.
is going to be maybe depending on the goes to either of them or somebody else with a who has held their
Yes.
purse till that point gets him. But I
Yep, yep,
feel
yep.
like pretty much these three will be split across these two teams is going to be my guess. That will be what I
I
think.
would say so too as well. Yeah.
Because if you remember, I don't know if it
I
was
might
last
throw
year or the
Jason
year
Holder
prior.
in the mix
KKR
as
went.
well.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, there's probably a lag there. I was
No,
going to
I
say
was
I might just throw. Yeah.
Jason
I was
Holder,
going to say
right?
I might just
Go on.
throw Jason Holder in the mix as well. He's probably not as a high, a four, a six, a five or six sort of a batter, but he's still like a lower order bat who can bowl and give you like good strong overs. So I think he can fit in as well.
Yeah, so I feel like in Jason Holder they already have an Overton who's like Jason Holder, who's maybe can bowl a little,
Correct.
can bat a
Fair,
little,
fair, fair,
is an
fair.
overseas
Yeah,
player, can play in that role. So I feel like Overton is already there. So that's
fair.
why I feel like Jason Holder might not be an option. But one big thing that I just
Mhm.
brought up was that they lost two spinners, and out of those, one of them was Ashwin who bowled in the power play. They don't have a spinner who can bowl in the power
Correct.
play. And like so that's why I feel like that is a player
Oh,
that
that's a
they would really
great
want to go
great
for.
option. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So
And they
in
can
that,
even go
and
for
I mean
like an
I've heard this
overseas
across
slot.
multiple, yeah, I've heard that across multiple podcasts. The name that keeps popping up again and again and again is Akil Hussain, because pretty much he bowls 3 out of his 4 overs in the power play. Yeah.
I don't know. I can even probably toss in a left field name. I'd probably put like a Mujibur Rahman there, who can ball in the or has bowled in the power plays. In the past, may well might be like the steal. Could be. I don't know. I'm just saying. His there is he's probably his pay or his form has sort of dwindled down a little bit in the recent year or so, but he's still young and can be like groomed into a solid squad player. Mm.
No, honestly, for me, the when you compare Mujibur Rahman versus Akil Hussain is not an all rounder,
Mhm.
but he has the ability to hit sixes like
Yes.
randomly out of nowhere. So, and he is a much better fielder than Mujibur Rahman. So, if you are going for like an option out of the two, I would any day
Makes
pick
him an
Akil Hussain
all-round pick
because
for
I think
sure. Yes.
he plays for Texas Super Kings as well, I think, in MLC. So he's already
Oh,
associated with
is
the
it
Super Kings
now?
family.
Mhm.
So I think he pick, or the other spinning option is Michael Bracewell, because Bracewell has been a good kind of a international bowler who's decent.
Yes, you
I
actually
mean,
bring that up
Bisnoy
a
is an
good point.
option.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
again,
know
doesn't
if
give
they
you
feel
the
they
the
would go
bat
for
and
Bisnoy.
field.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
I don't know
I
that,
think they,
but
as
I
you
feel
rightly said,
one thing is, yeah, go on, go on.
no, I was going to say they probably don't need a first choice spinner no more in the sense because you have Noor, he ticks that box. So you need someone who gives you a couple of extra overs to rely on, and hence going for like a Bishnoi may not
You know,
who arguably can be a prime spinner in top teams. So.
no, actually, that is something I question, because let's say they get a like they've lost Jadeja, they've lost Ashwin. So now, if you look at their
Mhm.
bowling lineup, like literally their first choice bowling lineup, it'll be Anshul and Khalil, and you will say Noor. All three of them will bowl 4 overs each, so that's 12 overs. And after
Yeah,
that
also
12
Nathan
overs,
Ellis
and
also.
Nathan Ellis bowls, yeah, Nathan Ellis bowls four. So you have 16 overs. You have 4 overs whom you have to get out of. You don't have a fifth bowler. You don't have a set fifth bowler. You have
I was going to
maybe
say,
a
do you
Green or
do
a
you
Liam
think
or
they
a
will
Venkatesh.
start? I was going to say, do
Yeah,
you
go
think
on.
they will start using Dubey as that option because he's been bowling so much for India in the recent last 6 months? I hope that he
So
starts to give them an option of at least an over or two. Maybe not every game, depending on what the game situation, but someone who can chip in with a couple of overs as well.
the problem is with this impact player rule, like having that sixth bowler, like a bowler like Dubey, be one of your bowlers whom you bank on to get those 20. I don't think is happening. See, that's what,
Yeah.
right? They will have a certain all rounder instead of at number four, Green, Liam, Venkatesh, whoever. If it is Liam or Green, they can bowl. They will have most probably an Akil Hussain or a Bracewell, somebody I feel they should bring in who can be that new ball spinner who can bowl that up top, or
Hmm.
if it is Bracewell, who can be that middle over controller. So I feel they need one bowler who can be a proper all rounder or a proper bowler, in the sense that if 4 overs are expected out of that bowler, the bowler can bowl. So that's why I feel that's an open point for them. And of course, other than that, it's depending on what all rounder they get.
No. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Fair.
But
And
in terms
do you
of
also think? I
Ellis, I
mean,
think they might go in for, yeah. Go on, go on. How many overseas
no, I
this
was going to
looks like?
say if at
Okay.
all, if at all they need like if at all they need like a backup for Ellis, and which I would say they still need one, and they can probably go for some
Yeah.
like left field options to like Indian bowlers like maybe Akash Deep or Akash Madhwar, and CSK are sort of no. I mean, if you look back over the years, they are known to buy players who just sort of fly just under the radar and try to get the best out of them. So maybe. they can go for like an Akash Madhwal or Akash Deep just to fill in those like backup or yeah, backup Indian bowling options.
There is a Indian. I mean, see, this is probably I have very less knowledge about what is happening in the domestic circuit at this point. Like I follow cricket, but I can't
Uh-huh.
follow it to that level. But one name that keeps popping up again and again and again is Akib Nabi or Naib. There is one bowler
Oh,
who has
Akib,
actually
the
been doing
JNK
really well.
bowler, yes.
Yeah, correct,
Yep.
correct. So maybe he is one that is on their radar. But yeah, they absolutely need a
As
backup
well, yep,
for
you're right.
Nathan Ellis. So yeah, so they need a backup for
No,
Nathan
I was going to
Ellis,
say
and they
this is
have
a good
only.
name.
I mean, it's not only, but they have four overseas slots left. So they could go for all four as overseas players, where they go for Cam Green, they go for maybe a Mathisha
Hmm.
Patirana again, they go for a Akil Hussain again, and then like a Jason Holder or somebody. Like maybe four all rounders altogether, or yeah, I mean something like that.
Yes.
But they have the purse. They have pretty much the core of the team sorted. They need a few backups and a couple of positions that they need to fill. So I think CSK compared to KKR are in a much better position to build a strong squad, because they, as you perfectly put, they started their recruitment work the middle of last year. Yeah.
So,
So
yeah, I was going to say, that sort of sums up the CSK discussion,
CSK.
unless you have any closing thoughts. But I think along with KKR, CSK go in because again by the virtue of the big purse they have, they do, and of course if they play their cards well, they can make the most of the auction and as well try to recruit some top players and fill the gaps.
Absolutely. Yeah. So after CSK, we're going to go for SRH as the next team. I think they have the third biggest pass in the
We
auction.
could talk about SRH. They have the third biggest price.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm, I would say the
Biggest
the
talking
opening
point.
argument for
They
SRH is Shami,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
released. So there is
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, after the easy teams of RCB and Mumbai, where pretty much nothing changed, I think we should go for somewhere where we have a little more scope for discussion, shouldn't we?
both on and off the field.
Well, yes. Off the field, I think there always are discussion about this next franchise. It's LSG, Lucknow Super Giants. I think they have, I'll say, one of the most entertaining franchises, in the sense that there is something happening, and the kind of players that they pick are also very blockbuster. And the one non-blockbuster player they had, they forced him out, KL Rahul. So
Uh,
yeah, I mean, actually, like, did you have any big surprises about the retention policies that they had for the mini auction?
I'd say so. I don't think I was honestly expecting Ravi Bishnoi to be let go,
Mhm.
like put in the auction. So that was very surprising.
Yeah.
And to some extent, I'd say even sending or swapping Shardul for Arjun Tendulkar seemed pretty surprising in the sense I wasn't expecting like Shardul for all the sort of complaints we could have with him. He's still a consistent team player. I do remember this one game. I think against Mumbai he got 4 wickets. So
I think this
uh,
was in the earlier part of the season, right?
the
The first two
earlier the
games he
first
was
half of the
active.
season, yeah, exactly. So which did surprise me, like for example like someone like Ravi Vishnu, an Indian talent, Indian spinner, to sort of to decide to drop him was sort of shocking, surprising, because you don't really get good spinners in auctions or in the entire pool. So having to let go of one was definitely sort of shook me.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's a good point you make. I was also surprised with the fact that they let Ravi Bishnoi go, because um, I think they almost got to a point where they were not able to use him properly, and he was pretty much like soaking up 10, 11, whatever, like crores of their purse. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for Ravi Bishnoi, the rise of Dhruv Rathi in the last season basically
Digvish,
was
yeah.
the, yeah, actually, why did I say Dhruv Rathi? Stupid. Digvesh Rathi. Digvesh Rathi basically pushed him towards the exit door, right? I mean, they found somebody who pretty much
Yeah,
did
who
what
was
Ravi Krishna was supposed to do, and they thought they
can
could get a
we
yeah
can we
cheaper.
classically say that Digvish Ratty signed him off in
That's a good
style?
one. That's a good one. I mean, pretty much seems like it, right? I mean, uh, yeah, they would. I would still say it leaves a hole for a second spinner
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, it is very difficult to go ahead just with one spinner, and
Correct.
you can say Markram is another spinner, but I won't classify him as that.
He
But
is. He did a good job. Let's acknowledge the fact that he actually
eh,
did a for a part-time spinner. He
yeah,
sort of I would say he he held his own. For
actually,
the couple of
let's
overs he
let's
chipped
go
in.
towards let's go towards the possible 11 that they have based on the players
Sure.
they have retained, and obviously the player that they traded in Mohammad Shami. So,
Yep.
like, I think that will give an alternative for a spinner that they're looking at. So you have Makram, Marsh, Puran, Pant, your top four,
I would
and
probably swap Puran and Pant. In the sense, Pant I feel is more effective when he comes up the order. So try to get him more
maybe the way
visibility or
Puran's
more
form
overs.
kind of maybe the way Puran's form kind of dropped off after the first 5 6 games where people kind of figured him out.
Yeah.
Maybe they might want to, and I mean, I saw like a couple of mock auctions hosted by Ashwin and Chika and the other channels. Like there was a general trend where everybody seemed to say that even Crick Bus Chatter, I think they tended to say that Rishabh Pant is probably going to open the batting or is going to
Oh,
come up the order because he
okay.
did want to open the batting last year itself. He said in a press conference, and
Uh-huh.
they're like, "Oh, Markram playing at three might not be that bad of a deal because he's
Yeah.
been doing that well for South
Sort
Africa
of
as
feel
well."
for Magram then.
I mean, sure, but see, honestly, they did give him the long rope last year in the sense that when he wasn't performing the first 4 5 games, they did not drop him and they consistently kept playing him.
He
So
came
it's
good
not like
eventually. And
no, that's the point, right? I mean, eventually it's like they show some faith. He came good. Now they want him to do something for the team. I'm sure he won't have a problem. But I mean, whether or not
yeah,
we
for
agree or
yeah.
not, I think the top four is going to be these four players in some order. Like let's agree on that.
Yep.
It's going to be these
Fine,
four
fine,
in some
fine, fine.
order. Yeah. And then you have a Samad, Badoni, and a Shabaz.
Ayush
Your
Budani? Yes.
yeah, Ayush Badoni, Abdul Samad, and Shahbaz, which are kind of their next three, who are not, I would say, people who can build innings or who can play the long 50, 60, 70, 80 runs, but they are
Yeah.
all pretty well capable of playing that support role of scoring that 30 runs, scoring that 40 runs, or
Yeah.
in Samad's case, maybe scoring a 20 of 5, 20 of 6, or 30 of 9, 10 balls. Like those kind of innings are very like they are very capable of providing that.
Capable of
And
yeah.
yeah, and in Shahbaz, they have a left arm spinner. Now, effectively, if they ended up using whatever, like Ravi Bishnoi for 1 or 2 overs, I think the same thing can be done by like Shahbaz Ahmad itself, and he's a
Yeah.
good bat. He's a decent bat. So I think you give that top seven, and then you have obviously Dhruv Rathi. I keep saying Dhruv Rathi. Digvesh Rathi. Digvesh Rathi, Muhammad Shami, Avesh Khan, and the two
Yo,
unknowns.
Mayank Yadav as well. I think
Yeah,
them
yeah, that's
backing
what.
Mayank Yadav, despite him
No,
not
that's the
featuring
two
as much
unknowns,
last
right?
season.
That's the two unknowns. You have
Sure.
Mayank Yadav and Mohsin Khan. Like both of them,
Yeah.
if on song, are amazing talents, but they haven't played for the past. I mean, Mayank Yadav played 3 games in the IPL prior to last. Last year he played two, but
Yeah.
he looked woefully out of touch and rhythm and fitness. He was bowling barely 130s. So, I mean,
True.
both and Mohsin Khan hasn't been seen. He's nowhere to be found. So
Yeah.
both of these players, they've surprisingly retained them. I think the thing that they're going for is there aren't a lot of big options in the market, basically, to say like they had Akashdeep, they released him. Like who's the other good long-term Indian bowling option? Like nobody in this
I know.
auction.
They have Prince Yadav,
Yeah, he was
who's
he was
fast, who's
yeah.
fast. So he can do quite a bit of damage on his day. Uh,
So have you seen this where you
mhm,
have one bowler who was an
mm,
icon? and then everybody else that comes in that country or in that team pretty much tries to model their action. Like for example, if you see like New Zealand, every bowler that comes in has Shane Bond's action,
It's a
like
Shane
pretty
Bond's
much.
action.
Yeah, I saw so much of Krishna's action in like Prince Yadav. I'm like, Prasid Krishna is nowhere near a legend or even a relevant player till the last year of IPL. And
Mm.
you see a Prince Yadav whose action looks pretty similar to Prasid Krishna's. Like, and he's tall. He has a good Yorker.
Very
Like,
uncanny observation. I didn't spot it, but
yeah.
nice.
So
Yeah.
actually, honestly speaking, Prince Yadav and Avesh Khan, if they're fit, they can actually be really
Avish
good
Khan,
middle
dude.
order
Yeah,
bowlers.
yeah. Correct.
Yeah,
Right, right,
and
right, right,
bowlers.
right.
And Mohammad Shami is their opening ball bowler. And if these three can stay fit, and of course you have your Rathi, Digvesh Rathi, and then like you that makes your four, and then your fifth. Hopefully, if these bowlers are fit, like Mohsin or Mayank, they have on paper a brilliant bowling attack.
Brilliant
If
squad,
they're
I
not
would say so.
fit,
Yeah.
yeah, if they're not fit, that's when the conversation comes into the play. Like,
Yep.
would you bring in anybody and like as a backup for either Marsh? Like, see, it's a how do I say? I think we've been lucky to see Marsh play the whole year. He's had a lot of
Last year,
injury
yeah,
problems.
yeah, yeah.
Although over the past year and a half, Australia and in IPL, he has actually stayed fit throughout because he doesn't bowl. He's
He
absolutely
doesn't
quit
bowl. I was
bowling.
about to say that. Yeah, yeah. And he's
Yeah,
captain, dude. Like he's
yeah,
captain of the Australian T20 side. I am
yeah.
not sure. I think he's captain of the Brisbane Heats as well, and they are doing pretty good in the BBL. So
I think they're gonna start. The BBL is starting now, right? I think BBL
well,
just started.
he
Yesterday was the first game of Sydney Sixers where Babar Azam scored two
he
runs.
took a blinder. Oh, he
Well,
took a
he
good
scored
catch.
two
I don't know.
runs.
I was looking at the highlights.
It doesn't matter. But
Anyways,
see,
but
anyways, would you and as a replacement for Markram, they have a certain Bredska who's been doing
oh,
unbelievably
he's
for South
man. He's
Africa.
been in great form in white ball, especially in the ODIs for
Yeah.
South Africa. Yep.
ODS, yeah. So I think their top four is pretty much sorted. Now, in terms of the five, six, seven, I'll say like whom would you be looking for as a replacement for either of them, like Samad, Badoni, or Shabaz? Do you have any like people who can kind of play those
Depends.
roles
I
well?
don't know. If they want players in the similar mold, like who can bat a bit, ball a bit, then you could probably go like for a Vian Mulder. He's the same, like same as
It's a
Ahmad,
good
where
option.
he can bowl a bit, bat a bit. Maybe they have enough money, 20, almost 23 crores. They can even go for
20
Liam
crores.
Livingston, who can, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I
Yeah,
was
they
just
can go
backing
for
it up.
like Liam Livingston, who can like spin, I mean, bat and chip in with a few overs, ball spin. Spin is
Wow,
also
yeah,
something they are quote unquote trying to fill
yeah,
with
miss.
Ravi
Yeah.
Bishnoi going out. So that is, if they want a cheaper alternative, maybe like Michael Bracewell, he can be a
It
good
seems
fit.
those two, three names kind of keep coming back, right? I mean, there is obviously
There's also
talent.
because
This
of
is talent.
the talent and the sort of the bracket they fall in, right? Like, and so that's and of course form is another part as well. But those would
You
be
know,
the.
no, one thing that I would like to maybe
Hmm.
suggest as an alternative is all of their overseas players are pretty much top order batters. Like they
Yes,
last year went for William O'Rourke as that overseas bowler, and they had Shamar Joseph. They've been having him for a while, but he barely plays. But
they
I
dropped him
think,
as well. Yeah,
yeah, given how Ikana's wicket plays and how Mayank Yadav has been effective bowling those fast back of a length deliveries, I feel a certain Alzari Joseph might not be a bad option for them because he
sure.
has that ability to be really fast and he can bowl that back of a length where he can actually rush the batsman.
Yeah, and even I would say Norkia maybe on the same sort of bucket
Yes,
where you can bowl
same
fast
lines. Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah. I
So
mean,
and
so
even Gerald
and
Cools, yeah,
getting Gerard, actually, wow, that's a brilliant call. Like all
that's
three of
a
them
suggestion as well.
pretty
Yeah.
much will help fix their bowling attack, which is pretty injury prone, and they can give them
And
those
also in
alternative
heavy
threats.
Indian heavy bowling lineup, so you
Yeah,
could you could afford to get like a foreign fast bowler there as well.
yeah. So I mean, technically, we would think they'd need foreign fast bowler at least, and if they can get two
No,
perfect,
yes,
but I think they'll go for one. They'll
One for
definitely
sure,
need a
yes.
good spinner. They definitely need a good spinner. Now they've let go of Ravi Bishnoi. They're not going to go back for him. So, like, what alternatives? As you suggested, right? As overseas spinners, they can go for maybe some of a Tikshana or a Hasaranga or somebody like as that
Hasanga,
all
yes.
rounder spinner instead of Shabaz's role, like I guess. Or they
Or
could probably
Zampa.
go. Sorry.
Or Adam Zampa as a like to like
Uh,
spin substitution.
True, true. Adam Zampa
To
actually
swap.
is a good call, good shout, or Rahul Chahar, of course. But
Or
I
Rahul
mean,
Chari, yes. That's an Indian option.
they have about 4 or 5 options, but again, like they are the same players who are going to be targeted by other clubs as well. Maybe having those
Correct.
23 crores might help them in there, but I think they'll need to prioritize the positions that they need to look at. They did release David Miller, so I think they're still in the market for a finisher, for a good finisher. So
Yep.
yeah, that is going to be a call that they have to make. But overall, I feel like this team last year they seem to have a lot of holes, but somehow the form that a Puran, a Marsh, a Makram showed, and the emergence of a Digvesh Rathi, pretty much I'll say plugged the holes in their team where they won like five. I think they had 4 or 5 wins in the beginning 7-8 games itself.
In the
Like that was all
Yep.
down to purely their like these individuals basically winning a game at a time, which was
Right.
amazing. I would like to see Puran has retired from international cricket after that. He has been
Cricket.
so in the other T20 tournaments around the world. He won't play the T20 World Cup, so you don't know what kind of Puran is gonna come in. It's gonna, but the others seem to be in form. Pant last year was a woeful year for him. They really need to find a way to get him
But
clicking.
he did
If they
finish on
can
a
do it.
high. I think the last game he scored 100. So for whatever it counts, he sort of
Sure, he did finish the IPL on a high, but I mean, of course, they have to kind of hit the ground running so that they can actually take that positive momentum. It's a young team. It's definitely a young team. Uh, but yeah, having those 23 crores is definitely going to help them get
definitely
some.
helps them. Yep.
Do you have one pick that you think will be the game changer or one that will kind of define the auction for them?
Ooh, for them. It depends, dude. I mean, since what I mean is that it all depends on where they want to focus their energy. In the sense,
Sure.
do they want to go all in for a foreign spinner? I'd probably put like Zampa, Hasaranga on that bracket. Or do they want to go for that middle order bat? So Liam Livingston could be a top pick. Or do they want to like invest heavy in like frontline foreign pacer? So then you have your all the Gerald Cruz, Enric Nokia, or Alzari Joseph kind of bowlers.
I
So I
feel
would
like
say it.
Hasaranga
They have
will
enough
be
money. They have enough money to
yeah.
go for 2 out of the 3 picks overall. So
Yeah,
if they are wise, they can surely get good players in.
I would say Hasaranga is going to be a game changer because if fit, again, fitness is
He
an
can
issue
bat
for
as
him.
well.
But
He gives that option.
yes, yes, he can bat as well, and he is. I feel he's technically very limited as a bowler, but with whatever he has proven to be time and again capable of picking wickets. And that is exactly what they want. Because Ravi Bishnoi, I think they let go because they wanted him to be the leader of the attack, the wicket taker. He just wasn't able to replicate that. I feel Hasaranga might be able to do that in this team. You never know. So moving on from LSG on to the other franchise, which is sort of set, sort of going somewhere, is Delhi Capitals. I feel like
Mhm.
they started off like a train on fire where everything
They
was
made a good
clicking,
start.
and then they just fell off a cliff. Man, that was a dramatic fall, wasn't it?
Yep, for sure. Couple of good things was I like the fact that they hired like an Indian coach. You don't really see
Hemang Madani.
franchises going out and getting in sort of unproven or not not so big name in Hemang Badani. So that was really good.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that didn't work for them, even though they got going at least in the first half of the season, was their opening pair. They chipped and chopped, tried too many different opening pairs and sort of couldn't really stick to one. One
Yeah.
big thing that I would want them to change. and stick to it is probably their opening pair or opening
Yeah.
combination. And I think I hope they feel as well. For me, it's a no brainer. KL should open in
Yeah.
T20s, especially. He's best when he's up there. Will give you the start. Last year, there are a couple of bets didn't really go well with Faf and Jake Fraser Mugab, which was, especially Jake was more surprising, I would say, in the sense the kind of the year he had the year before. I think it was in Delhi. It was, it was like explosive. So that was missing. So I would definitely say they should open with KL. Like in my opinion, they are probable 11 scale. KL should be there. Abhishek Porel has been doing well. I would,
Yeah.
also an Indian name, so I would want him to open. Three,
Mm-hmm.
I would say Harshit Rana. Sorry, Nitish Rana. They swapped with,
Are you Gautam Gambhir in disguise?
mhm. uh, But I think Harshit, wow, again, Nitish Rana should play there. Or Nitish Rana or Karun Nair. I think you can swap between three and four. You also get a left hand
Yeah.
combination. So that's
Yeah.
very nice to have. Those would be my top, I would say top four. Followed by that, five should be Akshar. No spot above or below. Five is typically where I would want to see Akshar, especially for Delhi. He can give you that good, solid middle order, bat and sort of strength. Tustin Stubbs, he's a proven finisher or really does well. And I think they have a sort of a long extended tail when it comes to their
Yep.
lower ad batters with Ashutosh Sharma, Vipraj Nigam. I still can't forget that first game versus LSG
Oh
where these
wow.
two
Yeah.
just took them over the rope. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
And I think in their bowling department, they feel pretty sorted as well. In the sense, at least with Michelle Stark and Kuldeep. They do have a couple of decent Indian options with Mukesh Kumar. Mukesh Kumar and T. Natarajan. I hope T. Natarajan is fit or remains fit because he wasn't as effective last IPL season. Hasn't really seemed
I
to
don't
have
think he
played
played.
much
He
in
played
in
one game.
between. Exactly. So I was not tracking, but for sure all the newses do
Yeah.
say that he hasn't been playing well
But
or as much.
it was
I think he
actually
just made a
surprising
comeback in TNPL as well.
yeah, given his season, like the fact that he barely played and he was worth 10 crores, it was surprising that they retained him and didn't let him go in the auction. I feel like in this auction, like everybody feels Indian pace bowlers are going to be at a premium, like pace bowlers who are relevant still. So
Yeah.
that's why a lot of these clubs have been reluctant to let go of their pacers, even if they were sort of on the edge, because if you think about it, Mayank Yadav and
Hmm.
Mohsin that we just spoke about, and Avesh also has been injury prone. You have a certain Natarajan here who has, and Mukesh Kumar who haven't done very well, but they have still managed to be retained so that they could continue playing.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's definitely there. Yeah, but I think one thing I wanted to add is that in this batting lineup, one name you forgot was Samir Rizvi. He actually
Oh
came into
yes.
Delhi, and the end of last year he actually had one like really good match winning innings against a Punjab Kings, like where he actually turned the
Hmm.
game around. So I feel like given that, and given that Karun Nair has pretty much failed throughout the year for them after that first couple of innings, they might actually push Nitish at number 3 and
For
have a
and have
Samir
a
Rizvi at
Rizvi at
number
four.
4, and then you play your Stubbs, Aksar, Ashutosh, and whatever. You know, frankly, that
Hmm.
team looks really solid from a 1 to 11 perspective if you just read that on paper, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean,
It does. I would
given.
say it does look. They have a good, solid sort of Indian core. I think as we just discussed, they need to figure their opening pair. That is definitely their number one priority in terms of getting it right. And opening is probably also where I would say is lies their opportunity in terms of what they can go and try to buy. Opener slash keeper. Of course, KL can keep, but then if it all, I think the Abhishek Porel has kept for them overall. But if at all they want an option there, you can.
They have three keepers.
They do? Am I missing
Tristan Stubbs.
someone? Um,
Tristan Stubbs.
oh, I For sure. Yeah. I don't know how he,
They don't need
in
a
my
keeper,
view
man.
and my lens, I somehow,
They're good.
no, I don't. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
think,
on the lines of like opening batters,
yeah.
is probably where I would, and want them to go look for good players.
The thing that is kind of advantageous for them is that in Aksar Patel they have a world class T20 all rounder. In all these three names that we mentioned, they have the keeping sorted. Like no matter who plays out of them, they are gonna
Mhm.
have a keeper. You have a Mitchell Stark and T Natarajan if fit, who basically set their death bowling apart. You have a Kuldeep and Aksar who basically are going to control their middle overs as a bowling unit. And Vipraj Nigam's rise was stellar last year. So if you honestly think about it, and Nitish Rana's inclusion or trade has been a
Inclusion
brilliant
and
one for them because they were really missing a experienced head in that top order other than KL, where it almost felt like KL had to be the opener, KL had to be the middle order player, KL had to be everywhere. Now with Nitish Rana coming in, they can set KL to a role and have Nitish play the other role. I mean, honestly, Nitish has opened as well, like for KKR. So they can actually go the other way around. If KL doesn't want to open, have Nitish Rana open and have KL play at number 3 or number 4. So technically, they
and
have the flexibility. It is just a matter of they need to pick a role for the players and stick. Last year, they were just all over the place, as you said. I feel the fact that they don't have that dependency of that opener having a secondary role in the team opens up a lot of options for them from an overseas perspective. Like very left field choice,
yep,
a Steve Smith for that matter. Like a Steve Smith, no matter what you say about him, about his IPL performances, has been in a rich vein of form for Australia. And not this BBL, this BBL is just starting, but last BBL he actually scored 200s in the Big Bash League and was lighting it up. So that guy can be this left field choice for them as an opener. But if not him, you have us. And I will say, if you are opening with KL, you need a second opener who is going to be explosive. Just go for it. That's what they tried to do with JFK, but like Jake Fraser McGurk, JFM, JFM. So he didn't work.
yep.
But
Just
I
for
feel like they can get. I don't know if they will go back in for Prithvi Shaw. I don't see that happening. But I feel like
oh,
in terms of the players, Finn Allen again like a absolutely manic
Finn
player
Allen, yeah,
who can be hit or miss. You
yeah.
have obviously you
I would
have
say even Tim's
a
effort.
certain Rachin. Actually, you have a certain Rachin Ravindra and Devon Conway who are still in the market. Rachin Ravindra can offer that spin option as well if they
Yep,
want, and Aksar Patel backup, sort of, because Aksar Patel last year like played
yep,
for them and was injured for a few games, which did really cost them. So see, they
yeah.
have a lot of options like that. That opens up a really good world for them. And having 20 plus crores, I think they are in a really good place in terms of team building. It's just a matter of clarity of thought as to what roles they want to give the players, and that can actually be a good recipe for success.
Yep, agree. I think you
Yeah.
summed it up very
Um.
well. And those were good
Yeah.
names.
Do
I mean,
you?
Prithvi Shaw,
Yeah.
Devan Conway, and even Rachin Ravindra for that matter.
Yeah. Do you have one maybe player that, again, just like how we did it with LSG? Do you have one player who you think they could go out? I
Mhm.
mean, go for him. Like who will be a game changer for them?
I would probably want them to go for like a bowler, in the sense like opening bowler. I know they have Mitchell Stark, but he's the only, I would say, proven or consistent name in the team. The others, can be good bowlers on their day, but
Hit or miss.
can be a hit or miss. So I'd probably want them to go for like a Jason Holder, or Matt Henry, or even on form, I
Hmm.
would say a Jacob Duffy or so, depending on how or when they come
Yeah.
up. But I would say a good international or foreign bowler might be a good option for them, especially to sort of solidify their bowling attack.
Yeah. I would actually go for like a somebody like a Ben Duckett, maybe a really aggressive attacking
Oh,
batsman who can
yes.
actually make a difference for them. So maybe that is exactly what they want. So I'll maybe put my hand on Ben Duckett to see if they can
Yep.
go for him. Yeah. Uh,
Ravi.
so having said about DC, like the next team would be RR. I would think. Yeah, next would be RR.
Okay, so
Do you want to start off with
neighbors,
the crazy
in a way.
pre trade window that they
Yeah,
did?
I could. I'd probably start with some of their off-field changes. I think this was announced a couple of months after the last IPL itself that Rahul Dravid would be stepping down, and then Kumar Sankara stepped in as the sort of the overall like coach of the
Coach.
team. I think they retained Vikram Rathod as the batting coach. So again, which is good. But Shane Bond continues to be their bowling coach. So they have good sort of Hollywood coaching team. So and overall they have a young team as well. So that should definitely help. And of course, in terms of on-field stuff, the biggest story definitely would be the Sanju trade. Things definitely seem to have gotten a bit acrimonious towards the end of last IPL.
Yeah.
And so I think we all sort of saw it coming. It was not announced until the very last moment that there would be a swap, and even the swap was on and off, on and off. There was a lot of back and forth. I would say in retrospect, they both teams for that matter, even Chennai and RR got a good deal out of it to get both Jadeja, which is again poetic and homecoming in its own right, and Sam Curran
Yeah.
has been, I would say, consistently good overall in terms of T20 with both bat and ball. So that's a good good choice or good option to have in your team. And I honestly feel that they are not going to miss Sanju as much. They have Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who has already proven to be an explosive talent. So they will. I mean, RR as a team will continue to get those starts. One, two is I would say their keeping is also taken care of in terms of Dhruv Jurel. So that is good. The only
Dhruv
place
Jurel.
where they might need some help is like the overall on-field leadership. Right now, I think the most obvious name is going to be Riyan Parag. I don't think it's been announced yet, but he did captain a 4 or 5 games last year
Jadeja.
when Sanju had to sit out. Uh, Jadeja, sure, I am. I have my reservations over Jadeja overall, just because of what happened a couple of years ago with CSK. He's a great team player. There's no doubts about it. Um, Remains to be seen. I would not say it's not like impractical or so. It could happen, but that is one thing that they would need to sort of manage in Sanju's absence.
Yeah. One thing is like as a team, they have like on paper like a really good batting lineup. Like even now, you have Jaiswal,
Yes.
Vaibhav, Parag, Jadeja, Sam Curran, Hetmeyer, Jurel, and maybe a Donovan Ferreira. Like at number 8. Like given
Oh,
that
that's a
you
good
have
trade.
eight,
Yes.
you have yeah, you have 8, and you have out of those 8, you have maybe 3 foreigners, which is a bit of a problem because you're definitely going to play Archer if fit. So that makes your number 9. And then in
Yep.
your 10, 11, 12, you will have a Sandeep Sharma, you will have a Tushar Deshpande, and then your number 11 remains open because you don't have that number 11. Maybe a
I would say wrist
Shivam
spinner or
Dube,
spin
Shubham
option
Dube.
is what remains open
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
let
I
go
mean,
of
they,
both
they
Vanindu
actually,
Hasaranga
I
and
would
Tikshna.
No, I'll say two. They had two problems last year. First is they did not have any all rounders in the team. Like Riyan Parag, the only one, but other than that, there were no all rounders in the team. So getting a Sam
Yep.
Curran and a Jadeja has been a really good trade for them as an all rounders
Good
like
fix for
slot is
them. Yes.
concerned. But
Mhm.
in Jadeja, they basically get an Indian spinner. So that sort of does not need them to play two overseas spinners that they had to play last time. So
Yep.
I was honestly surprised they let go of Hasaranga because he didn't do that badly for them. Plus, given that Sangakkara Sri Lankan is the coach. I thought they would have been more keen to keep Hasaranga in, but they let go of both. So, and I they have a certain Nandre Berger who's on their books, who's a really
Oh
good
my God,
pace
yes.
bowler who's actually showing it.
He's a good up and coming.
But
Yep.
you you cannot play him if you are playing Donovan Ferreira. So it's going to be, I think, a toss up between maybe a Donovan Ferreira or an Andre Berger in terms of who to pick. If that is the case, they have two slots open. Personally, last year they tried enough with Hetmeyer and Jurel as the finishers. It didn't work. They need a finisher. They need a proper
They need to
finisher,
finish.
and then they
Yeah,
need a good wrist spinner from India. Yeah. So,
I agree
like,
that,
here
and
comes,
also their
yeah, like, let's just finishing my point. Here comes Ravi Bishnoi, the Rajasthan boy who can come back to his home turf. Go.
that's no, I sure, I would have said the same as well. Which also means that they can go heavy for like Indian options, which is of course Ravi Vishnu as the top pick. You have Rahul Chahar. I would probably throw like a Vignesh Puttur in the mix as well. So they do have a couple of like wrist
Mhm.
spinners that are available in this auction, Indian auction. So and they have like 16 crores, which is decent money to go. If they were to get only one player, which definitely is a wrist spinner that they need to focus on. They should definitely go all money for for a first choice wrist spinner. And then if I'm going to nitpick, they probably need like a backup keeper because Dhruv Jurel is the only like keeper in the team. Apparently Donovan Ferreira can keep as well. But in this match I saw him bowl, so seems to be very, very versatile. So probably I'd go for like an
Yeah.
Indian backup keeper option, which should not be as expensive. So but yeah, wrist spinner is definitely going to be a number one pick for them.
Yeah, I'll say wrist spinner and maybe a backup to their fast bowling quartet as well. Because last year their fast bowling, other than a certain Archer, was really barren. Like Tushar Deshpande got hit, Sandeep
Mhm.
Sharma got hit. They had Queen Mapaka who got hit. They had, I think,
Yeah,
Fazalak
probably that's where
Farooqi
Nandre
who
Burger
also
can
got
come
hit.
in. That's yes, yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep. No, I'm saying that's
yeah,
where probably
yeah.
Nandre Burger can come
So
in.
I
He
mean,
seems to have improved over the few months now.
yeah, absolutely. His fitness was a concern, I think, last year. Now that he's fit and firing, he's a really good
Mhm.
option for them. So it's going to be super interesting because they have, I think, the top fixed. Maybe most of their batting is fixed with the Indian core that they have. They probably just need some work with the bowling department and the finishers department. If they can get that sorted, I think
Yep,
they should be good. Um, I like in terms of a big pick for them. I'll say Ravi Bishnoi is the one that I'll rate to say they'll probably go
I
all
would
out
say the
for him.
same as well. It's got a good story to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, the number of teams that seem to be needing a wrist spinner and whom we've spoken about going for Ravi Bishnoi, it seems very difficult that RR will be able to get him given that they have about what 16 crores compared to the other teams who have about
I
22, 25, 26 crores. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it also plays in assuming they go in the order of like batter, keeper, all rounder, spinner, or bowler. Spinners usually
Yeah.
come late, and
Yeah.
RR can play the waiting game, or like if there is one player, one position they need to go for is like a bowler, so they have time and money so called in their hand. They can wait it out until the end for spinners to come or the spinner or bowler lot to come. So by the time you would imagine that the top dogs out there would have already fought for like Green and Liam Livingston and all of those players. So that would or even Venki Iyer. So that would mean that by the time the baller slot come out, the purses might be even, or even Rajasthan might have a little more, depending on how they decide to spend or indulge earlier. So
That's actually a good point. Yeah, I mean the fact that if the primary batsman, like the player that they want is a bowler, they could maybe wait it out while the others kind of fight over the batsmen and the all rounders, and then eventually when the like the bowlers come in, they can maybe start playing their game and trying to make a difference. Yeah, that's a good point. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean we're actually running through this, man. We have three teams done. Now we have Gujarat Titans. Um, I I think it is safe to say we won't want to change the top three of Gujarat Titans.
Oh, that is they're ultra safe and assured with the top three. Like, I mean, the numbers say for it for sure, right? Like, if you look at their run charts last year, I think they scored like 80-90% of the total team's runs last year, which is good and a bad
Okay.
thing as well. On days that none of them clicks, it becomes difficult for them. Last year, fortunately, at least two out of the three clicked continuously throughout. So,
Yeah.
until of course they didn't, and that proved to be their undoing. So that's difficult. That's also why they would probably need like a good, number four, number five batters to come back them up. With them selling or swapping or trading Sherfane Rutherford, I felt that maybe they could have kept him. He did provide some cover for middle order, and was a strong and upcoming batter. But yeah, that's probably one eyebrow raising decision that I felt they could have stuck to. But again, of course they can always delve into the auction and see whom they can get. So
I feel like they have a really good ace up their sleeve in Glenn Phillips, like who I think is a really good replacement
is
for
middle order
Sherfane
better. I
Rutherford.
agree. He unfortunately got injured. Yes.
He, I think, forever has been the bridesmaid, right? He was at SRH, he was at RR, he is at GT. He's never been the first choice batsman. It's super unfortunate for him. Hopefully, this
I
year they bank on him and they give him that opportunity to succeed in the IPL, because I feel he is not the most skilled as a batsman, but I feel he definitely has the ability to change the games, and they need a couple of games from him in the season. Like that's probably what you need from somebody who is deemed a finisher, and he basically gets you a wicket or two on the field anyhow, man. Like plucking out catches as if they're nothing.
Man, I still cannot forget some of the catches he pulled through in the last World Cup. But yeah, no, agreed. He's definitely the or even the Champions Trophy. Um, yeah, and
Yeah.
think they also have a strong middle order in Shah Rukh Khan, Rahul Tewatia. Rashid Khan has been, I would say, has improved his batting a lot in the last few years. So he's a
Yeah.
reliable option. And even Sai Kishore, he can, ball and bat as well. So their batting runs like really deep until like number eight or so. And then, of course, they have
Did you
Prasid
forget
Krishna
Washington
and
Sundar?
Mohammad Sin. Oh, Washington Sundar will come at number five, right? So, sorry, number four. I think that is one of the
Okay.
reasons they sold Sherfin Rutherford was because they are seeing Washington Sundar and wanting to give him that spot. So, remains to be seen how how good or how consistently well he can do. But overall, they also have a very strong team. Especially their Indian core is pretty strong. So and hopefully like Agitsu Ragada is fit this time around, so that would be a great addition. Uh, Addition in the sense that he didn't really play last year, so that would be great for them to have him back.
I don't think fitness was the problem for Rabada. I think something else was, but that's okay.
Let's leave it there. He was not fit enough to make the right decisions. So
Good one, yeah. No, actually, their bowling lineup I feel is pretty stocked in the fast bowling, at least in the sense that they have a Rabada, they have a Siraj, a Prasid Krishna, they have Arshad Khan, who was a good left arm option for them. So in those four players, they have a pretty decent like fast bowling core. Plus, they have a certain like Sai Kishore, Rashid Khan, and if needed, Shahrukh or Phillips and Washington. Like pretty much everybody can bat and bowl apart from that top three. So if you think about it, they have and like Tewatia. Tewatia, I mean, he hasn't bowled in ages, but if needed, he can roll his arm over. So honestly, I think they've constructed a very good squad. And honestly, I would want a replacement or a backup for their top three. Like that is pretty much what I would be looking for. They had a certain Kusal Mendes, I think, who came in for the playoffs last year after Josh Butler had left. He was unlucky to be out hit wicket in that playoff game against Mumbai, but before that he was actually playing really well. So I feel they might go back for him as a backup option, but at the same time they could actually try to bring back David Miller, like who's been, yeah, I mean their finisher when they won the title. So they might want to bring David Miller back to say if Glenn Phillips' experiment does not go well, they can have a they can have a David Miller slot in as that finisher and then help them finish that innings. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So actually, before we call out on GT, I wanted to ask: do you have one whatever game-changing option buy that they'll do on?
I'd probably want them to go for a foreign fast bowler. I know they have a very good Indian fast bowling lineup. Kagit Rapada would be back, but I'd probably want them to have one more to back it up. That's one. Also, I'd also maybe implore on them going for like a finisher, and I think maybe having someone like a David Miller, that reunion might look good. He would not be expensive, I believe, given his age, and might be some nice to have given they traded Sherfin Rutherford. Might be a like to like player in terms of the mold, and of course left-handedness, so maybe he can come, they can go for like a middle order finisher as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I was actually going to say somebody like um, uh, uh, um, David Miller might be that game-changing difference for them. Maybe if like a
Yeah,
Glenn Phillips or that experiment doesn't come off, they can bring in maybe a Miller who they know how to use, they know how to bring him at the right time in the game to make a difference. So,
true.
yeah. And then now, like to the final team, which reached the finals last year,
Finals
which is very rare to say that in a mini auction, Punjab Kings isn't doing anything because they've mostly been the team who are
for
doing the most.
once. I
Yeah,
I know, I know. For once, they've got it right in the first go itself, and it's sort of refreshing. I feel personally very great for Shreyas Iyer in terms of him getting to go again,
yeah,
captaining this side, and taking them to the final. So it's like the third team he has now taken to the final. So
which is a big
it's
deal.
a big deal, yeah, big achievement, and I hope they do get to win as well. And I'm personally like a fan would be an overstatement, but I would like want to see Shreyas Iyer do well. So I would not be surprised for Punjab to do again well this year, and which
You,
also means that
yeah,
there is you'd have to find it very difficult to pick and choose options or gaps in their overall squad, and
that's
whom they
true.
would want to go after. So
No, actually, for me, Punjab has been a team which has been extremely entertaining. Even now, the squad that they've picked, it's a very entertaining 11 in the sense that they don't go by one simple template and then just try to grind it out. They really
yep.
show you flashes of brilliance, and some of the players that they've picked in their squad is brilliant. Like honestly, if you look at their 11, you have Prab Simran, Priyan Sharia, Shreyas Iyer, Mitch Owen, or yeah, Mitch Owen. You have
Or
Nehal
even
Vadera.
Nehal Vadera,
Yeah, Nehal Vadera. Shashank Singh.
Shashank Singh.
Yeah, Shashank Singh. Marcus
And then
Toyner.
you have
And then
Stoinis, and
uh,
then Janssen, dude. Like these
yeah.
days, Janssen can like
Wow, what
smoke
a
a couple
player,
of
right?
long sixers.
Yeah,
So
Marco Janssen. Then you have Arshdeep, Chehel, Harpreet Brar, and maybe one more bowler in there.
Lockie Ferguson or Xavier Bartlett.
I don't know if they have space for that. Let's see. Like they play a certain Stoinis, Mitch Owen, Marco Janssen. Actually, yeah, they do have spots
Yeah,
for
they
one.
do
Perfect. And as a backup, they have Azmatullah Omar Zai. Man, that
as well.
is squad
Yes.
building, man. For on their
And
end.
the couple of games, even Vaishak Vijay Kumar came good. I mean, I know it's not an international or a foreign option.
Right,
Point
right,
being,
right.
like they do have like strong, strong bowling backup as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the one player that they let go was Josh Inglis. I mean, yeah, the news is that he's getting married, so he isn't
Hmm.
going to be available. But although he's put his name in the auction and he is available for like 4 games out of the season, which is,
Apparently,
yeah, yeah. I mean, 4 games. I don't know which four, first four, last four, whatever four. So, I mean, it is interesting that they let him go. But I think as a squad, this is pretty stacked, and I
they have
don't
a
think they,
pretty, yes.
yeah, they can pretty much wait it out to either pick some Indian players, like to like the young Indian players who are this uncapped talent who can be that
Yeah,
future,
but
or
just pick up like a keeper backup as well because Pratsimran Singh is the only sort of recognized keeper in the squad, as far as I know. So
oh
probably
yeah,
they could have a backup keeper, and who could be
they
like an
had
up and coming
they had Vadera,
Indian.
but I think Vadera, not Vadera, they had English, but I think English was the other keeper they had, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So
So
that's probably it's sort of hard to pick what they need given
yeah.
given the solid squad they have.
You know,
Uh,
even in terms of Indian players, they have some really good backups. In that they have that Shegde, who's a nice
Suryan
finisher.
Shegde, yeah,
Suryan
yeah,
Shegde.
yeah.
And
They
then
had
they have
Yash Thakur, who's
uh,
ball decently over the
I
years.
don't rate him as much because he, like, as soon as the going gets tough, I feel like he really
He gets
loses
going.
control. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He gives away a lot of runs, and and they have a certain Mushir Khan who's Sarfraz
Was
Khan's
a good
brother, who's a
batting
decent
backup
left
as well.
arm
Yep.
spinner also. So who can be
Ah,
that? I think I think the one player they could potentially go for is Chahal's backup as a spinner
mhm.
because last year, although Chahal took wickets, he was pretty on and off throughout the year. So maybe at some point you might want to give him a break. So like or kind of have an alternative for him.
Yeah.
So that is one, and of course Shreyas is back. Like Shreyas has had some serious injuries with his back. So just in case he is not able to play, they'll actually, now that I say it, I can already see three backups in their team who can maybe take his position. So their squad is insanely stacked. So just backups and probably players who can come in as replacements for 1 or 2 games to rest some of their stars. Man, that is this auction, although it's not a lot of players coming in, it still has some decent options for the teams to go for. Yeah.
I mean, given the sort of transfer kitty that's left with each of these teams
Yeah.
and needs of this team, that there's still going to be some like really eyebrow raising bids for sure. You may not get
100%.
like 30, yeah, tops of 30, north of 30 crores kind of a buy. But I think we can safely say that Cameroon Green is slightly going to be 20 crore, north of 20 crore. Um, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting auction as always. And yeah, I was going to say every team sort of will find someone they want, and I somehow
Yeah.
feel that yeah, even though this is like a small auction, likely a limited pool of players, but if teams have been wise about their picks and their research, they can, of course, they might not all get their first choice option, but they can still come away with like good buys that should help them like solidify their team better, and of course, in
No,
in their
absolutely.
own right, they all look good contenders.
No, absolutely. I mean, in the sense that you have an opportunity to fix the mistakes that you had in a major auction where you had a big overhaul. So maybe they can, like, I would say the top teams are pretty set in the sense that they have the squad, they haven't let many big players go, they've kind of retained their core. This is more of an opportunity for the teams who kind of finished lower in the table to actually bridge
Yeah,
that gap to find those X factor players or fill those few gaps which they, like, over the season they saw they had, to actually make that jump up to be contenders to be in the top four, which is going to be amazing as a, how do I say,
fair.
as a league to see,
Yep.
like, teams competing with each other. So yeah, I mean, all in all, really excited to see the auction and to look forward to it. Maybe we can come back after the auction just to talk about some of the big picks that were made.
And yeah, and probably like discuss potential events and see, which team really got a good deal out of the auction. Mm.
The auction. Absolutely. Till then, yeah, you can like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you for continuously supporting us. We'll try to keep on being consistent and churning out videos. Till then, see you.
Thanks for joining.